guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to the channel. I'm Michelle and I hope that you are going to enjoy all the content that is on this channel and that is more to come. If you're a regular and an oldie, welcome back. It is so good to have you guys here. I just also want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you guys have been giving my IG page and my YouTube as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, I know what you're trying to do, child, but this is the best time to actually do that. Okay, so on today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how to get rid of the need for approval. Now, let me just say that this is what I've realized as the biggest thing, that one of the biggest things rather, that gets in the way of us actually creating and building the businesses that we want to build. And this held me back for quite some time, and I think every now and then it does pop up and hold me back a little bit. I just want to share with you guys some of the tips and things that I constantly do and some of the work that I've done really into kind of overcoming that need for approval as far as my creating is concerned, which is creating content and building a business from social media. So one of the biggest things that I actually want to mention as we begin this video is that the need for approval looks different for a lot of people. It's not always about the people that are around you that are going to say, oh, well done, you've done so well, and say all these amazing things. No, the need for approval can easily be followers, right? When people follow our pages and follow us or like the stuff that we do, it makes us feel like, hey, people like what we actually do. It's a sense of approval. When people subscribe to our YouTube channels, it is a sense of approval. When people like our pictures, comment on our content, engage in our content, it is a need. It is a form of approval, right? This says that, oh, people like me, they like what I'm doing, they like the impact and the value that I bring, they like my content, so they are proving it by, engaging and giving it time, right? So that's the need for approval that I really would like us to focus on. If you have been on this channel, you know that one of the biggest things that we share here is really just trying to help you make more money through different avenues. It could be creating that brand, which is one thing that I've been focusing on for the past few weeks, which is helping you actually start up your own brand or rebrand, but just make money from social media, because it is a platform that is super open that you can make money from. So let's start talking a little bit about how this actually manifests into what it is that you should be doing. So I did an Instagram Q&A and someone asked me if numbers should motivate you. So the question was along those lines. And one of the biggest things I said is that literally if you don't feel like creating, whether or not you've got 10k followers versus 2k followers, it is still going to be the same thing. It's not about numbers. It's about the why you are creating. And one of the ways you have to see this manifest in your life is you just stop creating. And part of the reason that you might not be able to tell everybody is that you feel like your numbers aren't growing because you're not getting the need for approval that you think you should be getting, because you are basically creating this content. And the second one, this happens a lot on social media, is that you start imitating someone else. So this has happened a lot where people have trended because they have been speaking like someone else. They've been imitating someone else. And guys, sometimes this happens normally, and sometimes people actually put in an act for this. For instance, you basically watch someone's videos 24/7 all the time, and when you start filming your videos, you start using their lingo, you start talking to them, and before you know it, you actually start imitating them. Usually when people do this, it comes from the fact, or it comes from just feeling like that person's getting more followers, being like that, which is technically themselves. So therefore you feel like you have to be like that person so that you can get that attention and those followers. That's when you know the need for approval is creeping in you and you need to get rid of it. And the third way this manifests is that you just stop showing up authentically, right? You just stop doing what you feel like you want to do and how you want to do it. This used to be my thing when I started my YouTube channel, and you can actually go and have a look at like my first few videos. I just struggled being Michelle and my quirkiness. I think at some point I remember I stopped creating because I felt like I need to be loud and like have story times and be funny and fun so that my channel and the brand that I wanted to grow can actually grow, because that's what I saw was selling. And then trickling down to all these manifestations I'm telling you about, I stopped creating. I don't remember ever mimicking someone else, but I remember stopping creating because I feel like I'm not that person, and how's my brand going to grow? I mean, I'm not loud, I'm not like funny, I'm not, all those things. You just start comparing yourselves to other creators, and then that stops you from creating. So whenever you note those things, you need to understand that the need for approval in the context of this video is creeping up, and you need to start doing some work. So let's just recap on these 3 manifestations. The first one is going to be that you stop creating, right? You just feel demotivated, you feel like you've got nothing to create, you just feel like, well, it just feels very dry in terms of showing up online. And the second one is that you start imitating others. This is a very big one that you always need to watch out for, and sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing this. And then the third one is that you stop showing up authentically. You stop being your full self, and you just feel like you being you is not enough to grow the channel, or not enough to grow the brand or the business. So therefore, again, going back, you stop showing up authentically, and then you stop creating. Now let's get into the different ways that you can begin to let go of the need for approval. And I'm really hoping that these ways are just going to, I think, day by day help you kind of let go of that, and you can begin to create from a place of harmony, of peace and authenticity more than anything, and to just dig deep into your creative juices that exist within you, so that you can, create that business from that brand. So the first one that I want to share with you guys is accept yourself where you are. This was such a big thing for me, mainly because when you're starting up as a creator, right, sometimes you don't have the right equipment, you're filming from your phone, you don't have the right editing things, you're an amateur, you're literally just starting off, and there could be a level of feeling like you're not good enough, you're not like the other people, and that can also then start making you feel like, like I was saying, that you're not loud enough, you don't have the relevant personality, and just not accepting yourself. And this also happens when you are such a visionary, because I am one myself, where you know what you could be, like the level that you could get to, but because you're not there yet, you become so hard on yourself, and you forget to accept yourself where you are at that time, because you feel like, well, I'm not where I really want to be, so maybe let me not do it. And one of the things that I've learned is that you need to be able to accept yourself where you are. Where you are right now is super essential for where you are trying to go. This means that you might not be, well articulated right now. You might not have the fanciest makeup to show up. You might not have a couple of things. You might not feel a certain way, but you have to accept yourself at that level and begin to work to the level that you want to get into. And I think that the work to where you want to get into will only be useful and will only be impactful in your life if you begin to accept where you are at the place that you are at right now. And number 2, realize that the disapproval of others does not define you. This is also another big one, right? People not liking your post, people not subscribing to your channel, like people not engaging with your content does not define who you are, okay? You need to understand that this is social media. There is a huge pool of people that are doing something similar to you, probably have the same personality as you. That we all kind of have a bit of similarities that are entangled in there. And people not following you and people not engaging with your content does not define who you are, and it does not say anything about relatively the person that you are, okay? The third one that I want to share with you, which is a little bit hot, is that you need to stop judging others. This basically means that stop judging others. Now let me tell you why I say this. I've realized that the reason why we feel like we are being judged, and this is not all the cases, it's in most cases, okay, and you can dig deep and let me know what you think about this, but the reason why we feel like people are watching us like hawks and they're judging us is because subconsciously, and most of the times consciously, we are also on the other end of judging others. We are also looking at other people's work and judging every single thing that they do. Judging it could be from a super positive way, it could be from a super negative way, it could be just psychoanalyzing people's things. So therefore we feel that just because we do that towards other people, that's how other people treat the content and the things that we create. And to be really, really honest with you guys, as much as there are trolls on the net and your audience is busy enough. They just want value, and you need to be able to create that value for them. Your audience wants to be able to hear and get the impact from you that you want to give to them. And only then can you begin to build that fruitful business, mainly because you are offering them that. So stop judging others, and you will also realize that nobody's sitting around actually judging you. It's literally a handful of trolls that will look at your work and say, oh, this is crap, and this is this and this and this. But the people that actually matter are not sitting there scrutinizing your content and talking about your poor quality, and your audience is listening to what you are saying, and they want to tap into what you have to give to them. And that is super, super important. The fourth thing is do things for yourself. This is basically a life lesson that you can learn moving forward. What I have learned is that doing things for yourself is very important. You need to be able to create because you are creating for your audience, but also for yourself. So for instance, when I put this content out, this video right now that I'm filming, I am happy with it because I know that I'm creating this for myself. I know that I'm creating this for my audience, but also for myself. I look at myself, I'm like, when I was going through, you know, my need for approval in my seasons, what would I have wanted to hear? And I would have wanted to hear the things that I'm sharing with you guys in this video right now. And I know that my audience and my people are going to tap into this and they're going to connect with it, and it's going to be valuable for them, right? Do I care about the 10%, 5% of trolls that will come into the channel and say all these nasty things and scrutinize every single thing I say and make bad comments? No, because they literally just a drop in the ocean. I've got an entire ocean that is, you know, surrounding me. So that becomes very, very important. You need to do things, create for yourself. Love creating. That becomes super important. Do you enjoy the process of what you're doing? And you can only enjoy it for yourself, not for the numbers, not for the potential of the numbers, but you can only enjoy it for yourself because you know what this is going to give you. Okay? The fifth one is fill your time with things that fuel you. This is also very important. What gets you upbeat, what fuels you, what motivates you, and what makes you want to create more. You need to be able to fill your time with this. The biggest mistake that I see that we make a lot, especially as creators and people on social media, is that we spend so much time scrolling through other people's lives, scrolling through other people's websites, other people's businesses, and basically just comparing ourselves and how incompetent we feel, as opposed to spending time, you know, doing things that fuel us. So for instance, for me, I think it also goes with where you are. So right now, I basically dedicate time to go on YouTube and look at other creators that I really admire, because that fuels me. When I watch them hustle, when I watch their vlogs, when I watch like your K-Yoms, when you literally watch these girls winning and doing things in life, I don't look at them and be like, well, I'm not there. Girl, I'm like, shine, shine, shine. As soon as I'm done, I'm like, oh, let me go shine. Let me get my K-Arms on, because that fuels me when I watch other people win as well. So I will also spend time to actually do that. Now, what then becomes very important to remember is that you need to find what those things are for you. What are those things that fuel you? What are those things that give you that motivation? It could be reading a book, it could be listening to a podcast, it could be following the right creators on your Instagram that really get you upbeat and that really get you back into your mojo so you can get into your creating processes, right? And then the last and the sixth point is that you need to set boundaries with the people around you. This, again, very important. If you've been on this channel for long enough, you know that I talk about how every single thing is very important after every point, because I mean it. It is very, very important. Setting boundaries is important, guys. You need to realize that not everybody deserves that kind of access in your life. Not everybody deserves to know your deepest and darkest dreams and the things, your goals and the things that you really want to achieve. Not everybody deserves that privilege. And this means that you can only tell and speak to certain people about the things that are so dear to you. This means that you can't just go to somebody and tell them about how you want to grow your channel or your subscribers or whatever it is to 100K, and they just be like, girl, don't nobody know you, so how are you going to do that, right? That's somebody that's going to discourage you. But if you go to somebody that knows your potential, that knows what you're capable of doing, this person is most likely going to fuel you. This person is most likely going to assist you, or more than anything, encourage you. So you need to be able to set those boundaries. Same thing goes for the people around you, your relationships, on social media as well. You need to be able to set boundaries. What is off limits to be able to protect your energy, to protect your peace, and to protect yourself as well. I think a lot of you guys know this. Instagram had this thing where I don't know if they're still doing it, but where they stopped showing likes on people's posts because there was a whole study behind it. Honestly, that was just a boundary that they were setting on their side to say, you know what, we are seeing where this is going, we're seeing how this is affecting creators and people within the creating process, so maybe let's try, you know, this feature out and see where that's going to go. What do those boundaries actually look like for you? You don't have to be open cards, you don't have to be an open book, and sometimes setting those boundaries is basically putting together a niche. Right? It's you saying that within my social media platforms, and I talk about this strategy a lot lately, within my social media process, I'm going to be sharing business information, and I'm going to be sharing these 4 things, and I'm not going to be sharing about my personal life. I'm not going to be sharing about my romantic relationships. I'm not going to be sharing about this. That is your boundary that you put in place to be able to protect yourself, to be able to, I think, also work and have a sacred space for you. So you need to decide what that space actually is. So with all of that said, I want you to first and foremost, realize that it is normal for you to go through that phase of, the need for approval and feeling like you need people to, like, comment, subscribe, follow you, engage with your content so that you feel like your work actually matters. It is very important. And I think that when you are consistently working towards what you want, you're going to get there. But while you go through the journey, you are going to have to go through a couple of huddles and jump through a few hoops, so you can get to that point. And sometimes it's mindset shift. Sometimes it's being aware of certain things so you can begin to create. And it's just the journey. And you need to begin to, I say, enjoy the process in the most pure way possible. That sometimes you're not going to, but you are going to have to stick it through and then find things and little joys in between that will help you enjoy the process for you to build that, business from your social media platforms and create that extra income stream. So with all of that said, I hope that this video has been very fruitful for you. More than anything, I hope that it has kind of spoken to you in any way and it has helped you if you were going through something, similar, or I've just been struggling with like where to start and feeling like you don't know how to create, or feeling like you can't show up authentically. And more than anything, if you've been one of those people, this is a sign to start right now. Start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the better camera. Don't wait to be more confident. Don't wait to heal. Don't wait for anything. You can start right now and build the heck out of that business. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, again, I don't know what you're trying to do, but you better subscribe to this channel. Okay, I love you guys so much and have yourselves a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.